Alright, welcome back to the Supercoach Enough channel. In this video we're going to do our round 1 team reveal for the 2026 AFL Supercoach season. So recording this on a Wednesday afternoon, so we haven't seen any final teams drop, so there may be a couple of changes just depending on who gets named, but assuming teams are selected the way that we think they will be, this will be the team that we run with. So we'll start in the defence, and D1 has changed from what it has been for most of pre-season. And we're going to go with Jack Sinclair, and this is just purely based off that 143 in his rolling average from opening round. So a little bit cheaper than Nas as well, who scored a 60 odd. So Nas potentially dips in price. We can get him after the bye. We do probably want to have both by the end of the season, so it just makes sense to go with the one that's going to be cheapest to begin with. D2, Connor Rosie hasn't really changed all the preseason. Don't need to say too much about that pick. D3 is our pod choice, Tom McCarthy, so should play a lot of mid at West Coast this year. Hopefully can rack it up and score well for us. D4, we can go a fair way down, so we are fading the McKerchers and those sort of price points. And we're going with Caleb Windsor. So 283k, looks like he's playing mid in the Melbourne team, which has lost a lot of experience through the middle with Oliver and Petrarca out. So happy to play Windsor in D4. D5, we're going to pay up a little bit and go Kitty Coleman. So I did score 60 in opening round, which is enough for him to make some cash. And hopefully, a bit more of a roll opens up for him. So we'll take the punt on him. And then the cheapies. So I think we're going with the three sort of obvious ones. If I can find them. Maybe I should have gone by percentage for these ones. But Sarong, Jakes, and back up a little bit more expensive, Josh Lindsay. So Sarong and Jakes both scored well in opening round. We've got Lindsay there. If he doesn't get up into the team, there is an out with, I think it's Selwood. At the Dogs also scored quite well in opening round. So, yeah, we're happy to take these cheapies because they're not expensive, and their price will start to go up that one round quicker, just given the buys. So, yeah, defence, I guess the back end pretty standard. In the midfield, Butters, M1, not going the bond, early season buy. Only scored 100 in opening round, so we're hoping he comes a little bit closer to the 120 sort of price point at 650, and then we can jump on a bit later. Also sort of going with the underpriced guns, so Sarong, Goulden, and Sam Walsh. So trying to squeeze 4 premium mids in. So just taking a bit of a haircut on the premiums like Dacos, Bailey Smith, Noah Anderson. Obviously, Goulden and Walsh have buys as well. Well, Dacos and Anderson have buys as well, so we'll take, again, a bit of value there, and make up for it throughout the rest of the squad. After that, I will go on ownership. It's probably the easiest way. Couple of highly owned mid-price options, Hayden Young, Darcy Parish. Expecting both of them to get decent rolls, get to a 500k price point. And we are going to go with Tanner Bruhn as well. So, been burned by the Tanner Bruhn pick in the past, but the experts are backing him in enough to get a more consistent role there at the Cats. So it's not much to pay, and probably is, the 91 in the average means he is going to move a bit quicker than some of the cheapy options potentially. Then on field, Jagger Smith, I think that's a pretty obvious one. Yeah, don't need to say too much about that. And then the bench, we're going with Grill, Sharp, Ramirez, pretty popular options there too. So probably, again, cheap is nothing too out of the box for the midfield. In the rucks, we're going with McAndrew on field and Brody Grundy as our R1. So started off with a 112, which was pretty solid. Um, keep thinking potentially Cherry with his good run to start, potentially Gorn. They don't have a bye. Um, the likes of English has a bye. Jackson, not sure on the roll. So it is a tough one. So we're just going to lock in Grundy as our set and forget option. And obviously, we can play McAndrew. Hopefully, he makes a good lot of cash until we sort of see how the ruck line shakes out. Going to go with Reedy on the bench at R3 currently. Um, don't know if he's going to get a game. Obviously, we'll find out tonight at the time of recording if he's named. And if he is, we'll plug him in. Obviously, 34 is nothing great. But Pidnet isn't the most reliable in terms of injury. So there is a good chance that he gets extended run at some point. Failing that, we can look at potentially ZZ, Zane, Zakatelski, defender ruck, 119k, could just sit on the bench and do a bit of a job for us. Although again, we'll wait and see what's happening with Draper there at the lines. So we might just go bottom dollar Kalani White and have that loophole option locked in early. Forward line, again, go with the ownership because it's pretty standard, I think. Harry Sheasel, Petrarca, Flanders, Philippo's there. The other sort of upper price option, Connor Butterick, off his 100 at 245k, represents some good value. We'll put Dev Rob on field, Lombard, Todd Marshall on the bench. So don't probably need to say too much about any of these guys. They're all very popular. Connor Broderick being the most out there at 23%. Still a very popular pick. And then that leaves the flex with about 340k to spend. So we're going to go with Blackiston at 295k. Obviously, could put him in defence, but we do hope that he becomes a ruck option in round 6, so then we have a bit more flexibility through the ruck position. And obviously, Reedy can sit at F8 or something like that if need be. So, yeah, that's the squad going into round 1. In terms of emergency picks, I need to save the team and captains. So I'd probably put Jakes in as the emergency, plays a slightly earlier game, so we have the potential to loop, perhaps, but probably won't. We'll just lock Grill in as the emergency playing tonight. If he goes good, maybe we downgrade Bruin. I don't really know how we work that. Obviously, Reedy, if he goes massive, we could potentially do some funny business here to move McAndrew down. And the forwards, they both play pretty late, or even Dev Rob plays pretty late, so might just lock in Lombard in case someone misses out. And then vice captain and captain, so pretty good shout there with Grundy and Butters. But we will use Sam Walsh tonight as the VC, tomorrow night as the VC shout. If he goes good, again, we can try and loop that in. But if not, we'll just lock Grundy in against the Lions on Saturday night. Um, or actually, Butters against North. Maybe Butters. Yeah, so we'll do Butters, I think. Makes probably a bit more sense. Yeah, so nice, short, sharp one, hopefully. But that's the team going into the 2026 AFL Supercoach season. As always, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to add them below the video. Give us a like if you enjoy the AFL content. Subscribe for all the fantasy sports content on the channel. And other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.